Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Bill Simone Field here on the beautiful campus of the University of the Pacific. I'm Kevin Roll, and I'll be bringing you all the action tonight in what is the final game of this three-game series between the Santa Clara Broncos and your Pacific Tigers. The Tigers and Broncos played each other yesterday in a doubleheader. Tigers took the first game. The Broncos took the second game. So that leaves head coach Brian Colsey of Pacific one win shy of his 700th career victory. So we're hoping for a little history tonight. Now let's bring you to the lineups. For Santa Clara, batting first is going to be Amanda Delfino in right field. Batting second is Ann Yates, their designated player. Batting third is Cassandra Padilla, their shortstop. Justine Garner is going to be in center field. Kelsey Bernard catching. Chiara Biagini in left field, Gianetta France at first, Gina Marie Bonilla at second, and Morgan Modesto at third. And pitching for Santa Clara will be Michaela Vieira. She was the losing pitcher in Game 1 of the doubleheader yesterday. Now for your Pacific Tigers, batting first is going to be Sarah Anderson. She'll be playing in center field. Then you have Haley Morin-Rowan in right field. Rachel Sellers catching, Sydney Lawners at first, Nicole Zapatosny at second, Cassidy Gustafson is going to be pitching today, Molly Bournes at third, Melanie Habib is at shortstop, Taylor Covington is going to be the designated player, and Megan Walters is going to be in left field for the Tigers.
Leading off the contest for Santa Clara, the right fielder number 13, Amanda Delfino.
All right, so here we are about to get started here. It's about 6:03 p.m. will be the first pitch, and here it is. And it is ball one to Delfino.
First pitch, 6:03 p.m.
Gustafson came in for Pacific during the second game yesterday. And Delfino lines this one to short, and that one's snagged for out number one.
Batting second, the designated player number 2, Annie Yates.
That'll bring up the designated player, Annie Yates. First pitch to her is in there for strike one. The Tigers come into this contest 18-15 overall, 1-1 in conference play. And Santa Clara 6-30 overall, 1-1 in conference play. As that strike two as Yates swings and misses. This is the final game, like I said, of their three-game series, which is the conference opener for both teams. Oh, and the home plate umpire says Yates did go around for strike three, so two away quickly here for Gustafson, and the Tigers playing behind her.
Now batting the shortstop number 22, Cassidy Padilla.
So now Cassandra Padilla will come to the plate. And Cassandra's going to foul this one off and out of play to the right side. Padilla is a senior from Pico Rivera, California. So 1 pitch to her is low for ball one. So 1-1 count now to Padilla. 2 outs, nobody on here in the top of the first as we're getting started here at Bill Simone Field. And a pitch from Gustafson is high for ball two. 2-1 now. Compared to yesterday, the sun is out. We do have some outlying clouds, but majority sun on the field as the pitch is in there for strike two. 2-2 now for Padilla. The grandstand's in the shade. The batter's box is in the shade, but the rest of the field is in the sun. That tends to play havoc sometimes for the fielders as the ball comes from the shadows, so they really have to keep their eyes out for it. And 3-2 pitch, and she dribbles this one to Bourne. She'll throw across the diamond to Lawners to get her out. So 1-2-3 inning for Pacific here as they shut down Santa Clara. We go to the bottom of the first. Santa Clara nothing. The Tigers coming to bat. Hello and welcome back. The Scholar Share Tiger Pack is back for just $36. You can grab 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, and 4 sodas to any Pacific softball game. It's the best value in town. For more information about the Scholar Share Tiger Pack, head online to pacifictigers.com/Tiger Pack. In fact, you are listening live to us on pacifictigers.com as we come at you from Stockton, California, here on the campus of the University of the Pacific. At the top half of the inning, Santa Clara went up and down, 1-2-3. So here come the Tigers. Leading off for them is going to be Sarah Anderson, the center fielder. For Santa Clara in the outfield from left to right is Biagini, Garner, Delfino. At third is Modesto, short Padilla, Bonilla at second, France at first, catching is Barnard, and in the circle is Vieira. Sarah Anderson batting .371 this year. That pitch is outside for ball 1. On deck is Moore and Rowan. And the pitch from Vieira is in there for strike 1. 1-1 now is the count to the Tigers' senior center fielder. And the 1-1 pitch. Outside for ball 2. 2-1 now to Anderson. And Sarah chops this one to short, and no chance to get her with that speed as she reaches first on an infield single. So no outs. Tigers have a runner on first for Haley Moore and Rowan. Junior right fielder. Infield playing her to bunt as the corners are creeping in. And she does show bunt and takes it for strike 1. And the 0-1 pitch. No sign of a bunt, and she'll take that one for ball 1. So 1-1 now the count to Moore and Rowan. And the pitch, and she chops this one to short. The throw over to second is not in time, so both Anderson and Moore and Rowan are going to be safe. As Padilla scooped it out of the dirt, tried to throw over to Bonilla at second to get the lead runner Anderson, but it was not in time. So now the Tigers got something going on here in the bottom of the first. There's no outs. Runner on second and first, and coming up is Rachel Sellers. She's batting .386 on the year. She leads the Tigers in batting average. And the first pitch in there is strike 1. 3-1 pitch, and she lines out to short. The throw over to second, again, not in time. So one away as Sellers lines to Padilla at short.
The first baseman, number 44, Sydney Lawners.
So now with one out, runners on second and first, that'll bring up the first baseman, Sydney Lawners. Lawners batting .309 on the year. She's a sophomore from Laguna Hills, California. One out. And the pitch is in there for strike one as it catches the outside corner. Counts 0-1. One out. Runners on second and first for the Tigers. And the pitch is up high for ball one. 1-1 now the count. And Lawners grounds this one to Padilla. She'll throw it over to Bonilla. Try to get the double play, and France misses the throw at first. And that'll bring home Anderson as Anderson comes in to score. Morin Rowan is out on the fielder's choice at second. And Lawners is safe on the air by the first baseman, France.
Batter for the Tigers, second baseman, number 7, Nicole Zapatosny.
So there's 2 outs. Runner on first, and the Tigers are already up 1-0 for Nicole Zapatosny. Yeah, first pitch is up high and tight for ball one. And that one is outside for ball two. So 2-0 now to Zapatosny. She's a senior from Huntington Beach, California. Went to Edison High School. And this one's up high and tight for ball three. So quickly 3-0 to Zapatosny. 2 outs. Runner on first for the Tigers. They lead 1-0 so far. And that pitch is in there for strike one. So 3-1 now to Nicole. And the 3-1 pitch is inside for ball four. So the Tigers will have 2 runners on yet again. This time Zapatosny will be on first. And Sydney Lawners will be at second. And that'll bring up the pitcher, Cassidy Gustafson. Cassidy's batting .277 on the year. And the pitch is in there for strike one. So no balls, 1 strike to Gustafson. 2 outs, runners on second and first. And she's going to foul this one off deep and far into the parking lot in right field. Glad I parked far enough away. I've learned my lesson working all these years in baseball and softball that you don't park anywhere near a ball field. And this one is hit into right center. Right fielder Delfino coming on will make the catch to end the inning, but not before the Tigers score a run. We go to the top of the second. Santa Clara nothing, Pacific 1.
following sponsors for their support of Pacific
Wingstop, for people who demand flavor in everything they do. For the nearest location or to order online, visit wingstop.com. Hello and welcome back to Bill Simone Field here on the beautiful campus of the University of the Pacific. I'm Kevin Rule, and we are in the top of the second. Pacific leads Santa Clara 1-0 here in the game this evening that is the final of their three-game series. This was the game that was supposed to be played yesterday, but because of the rain out on Saturday, it moved everything up a day. Coming up now for Santa Clara is going to be their center fielder, Justine Garner. She's going to be followed by Kelsey Bernard, the catcher, and the left fielder, Clara Biagini.
Leading off the inning for Santa Clara, the center fielder, number 32, Justine Garner.
In the top of the first, Gustafson pitched a 1-2-3 inning for the Tigers. They're hoping to get the same thing here in the top of the second. Justine Garner is a sophomore out of Roseville, California. And the first pitch to her, she swings and fouls this one off for strike one. And that pitch is inside. Ball one. This one's grounded to second. Zapatosny will throw it over to Lawners to get the out. That's one away now. That'll bring up the catcher, Kelsey Bernard.
The batter is the catcher, number 6, Kelsey Bernard.
And the first pitch to her is low for ball one. And pitch is inside. Catches the corner for strike one. 1-1 now. To Bernard, the catcher. On deck is the left fielder for the Broncos, Clara Biagini. And the 1-1 pitch. This one's right back to Gustafson. She'll throw over to first to get the out. So quickly there's two away here in the top of the second.
Now batting the left fielder, number 10, Clara Biagini.
Biagini got hit by a pitch her first time up when Gustafson came into the game yesterday. That pitch is inside for strike one. So there's two outs, nobody on for the Broncos. And the pitch, and this one is ripped into right center all the way back to the fence. Biagini's on her way to second, and she will get in there standing up as she has a two-out double here for Santa Clara. And that'll bring up Gianetta France. France didn't play in the first game yesterday, but she did play in the second game. She's actually one of two Bronco players that played in the second game, so obviously their head coach, Lisa Mize, liked what she saw yesterday in the second game and let them play tonight. So Gianetta France at the plate. Biagini's at second, and the first pitch is high for ball one. There's two outs, runner on second. Still 1-0 Pacific. We're in the top of the second. And this one's in the dirt, and it gets away from Sellers. And Biagini is on her way to third. She'll get there safely. So the Broncos now have a runner at third with two outs. 2-0 count to France. And Sellers asked for time, and she's going to go out to talk to Gustafson. And the pitch is low for ball 3. So 3-0 now to France. And that pitch is in there for strike 1. So 3-1 now. Gustafson is 4-3 on the year with a 5.02 ERA. And this one's chopped foul. So that will make the count full here. So there's 2 outs, full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner on third. Tigers lead 1-0. And the pitch, right back at the Gustafson. Ricochets off of her. The shortstop Habib's able to pick it up and throw out. France at first, so no run scores. We go to the bottom of the second. Santa Clara 0, Pacific 1. The City of Stockton Municipal Utilities Department asks you to help with water quality and water conservation. Help us maintain clean rivers and a clean delta for everyone by reporting any sewage or bad-smelling water in the street or water running in gutters. Reporting possible problems helps everyone to maintain a clean water supply and healthy environment. Call the 24-hour Emergency Service Center at 209-937-8341. We are here in the bottom of the second at Bill Simone Field here on the campus of the University of the Pacific. It is 1-0 Tigers as the third baseman Molly Bourne steps up to the plate. And the first pitch to Molly is in there for strike 1. So 0-1 now. And Molly fouls this one down the first base line for strike 2. So 0-2 now to Bourne. She was 1 for 3 yesterday against Vieira with a single and then came around to score. The Tigers beat Vieira yesterday in game 1, 7-3. And the pitch from Vieira, and Bourne grounds this one to short, and the throw is in time to get her.
The batter for the Tigers, the shortstop number 23, Melanie Habib.
And now the shortstop, Melanie Habib. She had a good day yesterday in game 1 against Vieira. She went 2 for 3 with 2 singles. And she takes the first pitch and fouls this one out of play to the right side. So 0-1 now. Melanie batting 200 on the year. And the only one pitch, and she shows bunt. She gets it down. First baseman France fields it, but Bonilla, the second baseman, was nowhere near covering. So she at least caught the ball so it didn't go into right field. And the Tigers have a base runner on at first as Habib gets the infield bunt single, I should say. So 1 out, runner on first, and then I'll bring up the designated player, Taylor Covington.
For the Tigers, the left fielder number 20, Taylor Covington.
And Taylor fouls this one off to the right side. Strike one. And actually, I'm getting word that Taylor Covington now is the left fielder instead of Megan Walters. So originally Covington was slated to be the designated player, but she's actually in the lineup as the left fielder now as that pitch goes in for strike two. So 0-2 now to Covington. So 0-2, one out. Runner on first for the Tigers. They lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the second. And this one's fouled back as Covington stays alive. And the 0-2 pitch, high and away for ball one. So 1-2 now to Covington. On deck is Sarah Anderson. She singled in the top of the first. And this pitch is outside for ball two. So 2-2 now to Covington. So again, 2-2 count, one out, runner on first for the Tigers. Oh, and that pitch catches the inside corners. Covington tried to back off, but the umpire said, nope, it hit the corner. That's strike three, so Covington strikes out for out number two for the Tigers. So Habib's still at first, and now Sarah Anderson's coming to the plate. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Pacific leads Santa Clara 1-0. And the pitch is outside for ball one. So 1-0 now to Anderson. And that pitch is just outside for ball two. So 2-0 now to Anderson. 2 outs, runner on first for the Tigers as they lead 1-0. And that one does hit the outside corner, so it's 2-1 now to Anderson. Ooh, and that one's low and inside, and Anderson took a swing at it but missed, so 2-2 now. We're only here in the bottom of the second, folks. It's a beautiful, sunshiny evening here in Stockton, California. If you're listening and you're close by and you want to come out and catch this action live, instead of just listening to it on the internet, come on out. There's people even out beyond the fence that are sitting on blankets, hanging out with their dogs, enjoying some evening softball. And 2-2 pitch. She chops this one foul to stay alive. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on first. Tigers lead Santa Clara 1-0. Sarah Anderson at the plate against Michaela Vieira, the pitcher for Santa Clara. And this one hits the outside corner for strike 3. And Anderson kind of gives a look to the umpire. She didn't agree with him, but either way, that is out number 3. So we go now to the top of the third. Tigers 1, Santa Clara 0. Lincoln Center is Stockton's premier shopping and dining destination. Enjoy boutique shopping, our award-winning restaurants, and family-friendly atmosphere, conveniently located at Pacific Avenue and Benjamin Holt, less than 15 minutes from the University of the Pacific. Visit LincolnCenterShops.com for a list of stores that offer discount to all Pacific students. Lincoln Center, always in style. And I can tell you, folks, as a lifelong Stocktonian, that definitely is a place to go, hang out, enjoy a bite to eat, maybe grab a coffee from their Starbucks there and wander around the center and enjoy a nice evening here in Stockton, California. Just like this evening here at Bill Simone Field on the campus of the University of the Pacific. I'm Kevin Rule. I'll be bringing you all the action tonight as we're in the top of the third. Santa Clara 0, Pacific 1. Coming to the plate for the Broncos is their second baseman, Gina Marie Bonilla. Cassidy Gustafson is in the circle for the Tigers this evening. And that one's in there for strike one. Now on deck is Morgan Modesto for Santa Clara. She had the game-winning home run against Gustafson in Game 2 yesterday. This one's grounded to Habib at short. She'll throw over to Lawners to get the out. So one away. And as I was saying, Modesto, who's coming to bat right now, she hit the game-winning two-run homer off of Gustafson in the top of the 8th of Game 2, which gave the Broncos the victory. They won 7-5 yesterday. First pitch is a ball. So the Tigers won 7-3 in Game 1 yesterday against Broncos. Broncos won 7-5 in Game 2. This is the third game of the series, so that's ball 2 now to Modesto. Third and final game of the series to open up the West Coast Conference schedule. And Modesto hits this one high and deep and foul. So 2-1 count, as that was a long strike there by Modesto. She definitely likes what she sees from Gustafson's pitches. And that one's high for ball 3, so 3-1 now to Modesto. On deck is the top of the order for Santa Clara, Amanda Delfino, the right fielder. So the 3-1 pitch. And Modesto rips this one into center. Over Anderson's head. No, excuse me, it's over everybody's head as it goes over the fence. That even shocked the umpires as it got out of here so quick, and with the chain link fence in the outfield, it was hard to tell at first until you saw the ball trickle away on the grassy field on the other side of the wall. So Modesto with a solo blast to tie the game here at 1 apiece.
Back to the top of the order for Santa Clara, the right fielder, number 13, Amanda Delfino.
And now with 1 out, nobody on, Amanda Delfino steps to the plate. And this one's low and away for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch is outside. So now it's 2 balls, no strikes to Delfino. This one's high and inside for ball 3. So Gustafson gave up the solo homer, and now she's pitched 3 straight balls to Delfino. 1 out, nobody on. On deck is Ann Yates. And that's ball 4. Looks like the Tigers do have a pitcher warming up in the bullpen right now. So 1 out, runner on first. Tigers call time as one of the coaches will come out and talk to Gustafson here. And again, the Tigers are trying to make history tonight as their head coach, Brian Colsey, in his 24th season is looking for victory number 700 as he is at 699 after the Tigers won Game 1 yesterday of the doubleheader. So there's still time, folks. We're in the top of the third for you to come on out to Bill Simone Field here on the campus of the University of the Pacific to catch the action and maybe see history this evening here in Stockton, California. All right, and we're ready for action again as Yates steps to the plate. And the first pitch to her, and she bunts this one foul for strike one. So Delfino is on at first. There's 1 out. The Broncos and Tigers are even at 1 apiece after Morgan Modesto hit a solo homer earlier in this inning as that swung on and missed. Strike 2 to Yates. So quickly 0-2 to Yates. On deck is Cassandra Padilla, the shortstop. And Yates swings and misses for strike 3. So there's 2 outs now here in the top of the third inning as Santa Clara and Pacific are even at 1 apiece.
Shortstop, number 22, Cassie Padilla.
Cassandra Padilla grounded out to third in the first inning. She shows bunt, pulls it back, and does not swing as that's ball 1. And that one's in there for strike 1. So 1-1 now on the shortstop for the Broncos. 2 outs. Runner on first. And she shows bunt as she runs up to it and pulls it back just in time, the umpire at first base says, as they check to see if she swung. So it's now 2 balls, 1 strike to Padilla. 2 outs. Delfino on at first. And this one's chopped right back to Gustafson. She'll throw over to Lawners to end the inning, but not before Morgan Modesto ties this ball game up with a solo homer. So we go to the bottom of the third. Santa Clara 1, your Tigers 1. And welcome back to Bill Simone Field here on the beautiful campus of the University of the Pacific here in Stockton, California. The Tigers and the Broncos are all even at 1 apiece here as we are in the bottom of the third. Coming up for the Tigers this inning is Morin, Rowan, Sellers, and Lawners. And leading off here is the right fielder, Haley Morin Rowan. She got a single last time up. Yeah, the first pitch to her is called strike one. So 0-1 now to Moran Rowan. And that one's high for ball one. So 1-1 now. And the 1-1 pitch hits the outside corner for strike two. So 1-2 is the count now to Moran Rowan. Ooh, and this one is inside, and Moran Rowan trying to get out of the way. Ended up going around on the swing and striking out. So that's one out here in the bottom of the third for the Tigers. And that'll bring up the catcher, Rachel Sellers. Tigers leading hitter. And this one's high for ball one. And this one was high and inside. She checked her swing for ball two. So 2-0 now to Sellers. And this one is popped up foul and over our heads here in the booth. So it's 2-1 now. 2 balls, 1 strike on Rachel Sellers. It scores 1-1 here in the bottom of the third. Sellers, a sophomore from Los Alamitos, California. Ooh, and Sellers gets hit. Looks like she might have got hit on the wrist as she was going for the swing there. So she'll go to first. That'll bring up Sydney Lawners. As Sellers checks her left wrist.
The batter for the Tigers, first baseman number 44, Sydney Lawners.
From the looks of it, she's talking to the first base coach over there that it hit more up on her forearm area. So at least it stayed away from the sensitive wrist area. So she should be good to go. So 1 out. Runner on first. That's Rachel Sellers. And at the plate is Sydney Lawners for the Tigers here. And the pitch from Vieira is outside for ball one. The pitch is high and inside for ball two. So 2-0 now is the count to Lawners. And this one hits the outside corner for strike one. So 2-1 now. To Lawners. Lawners yesterday in game 2, even though it wasn't against this pitcher, Vieira, hit 2 long balls her first 2 times up. As that one's ball 3. So the count's now 3-1 to Lawners. And now it's high and inside for ball 4. So the Tigers have 2 runners on here now with 1 out. And Nicole Zapatosny coming to the plate.
In the fifth position, the second baseman number 7, Nicole Zapatosny.
So Vieira is going to get a visit from one of the Santa Clara coaches, as well as the rest of the infield. She started this inning off by striking out Moran Rowan, and then she hit Sellers and walked Lawners. And that's where we stand now. 2 Tigers on. 1 on second, 1 on first. 1 out. As there's a couple of Broncos heading over to the bullpen for Santa Clara. Both bullpens here at Bill Simone Field are in left field. So the visiting teams that have their dugout on the first base side have to come around in front of the grandstand to go to the bullpen. And the visit's over, and Zapatozny is in the box and ready to take a stab at Vieira. So here we go. And the pitch is low for ball one. So 1-0 to Nicole. 1 out. Runners on second and first for the Tigers. And this one's going to be fouled off and on top of the visiting dugout. So the count's now even at 1 apiece. So the count's 1-1. The score's 1-1. There's 1 out. And she hits this one deep to left. The left fielder's at the wall, and Biagini will make the catch at the fence and get the throw in. And that is a deep out, number 2 for the Tigers. And now as I look at the flag in center field, the wind is blowing in the opposite direction, so I think that's what kind of helped that ball not go out for Zapatozny, because it was high enough. As Cassidy Gustafson comes in, and she will hit this one right to Modesto at third. Modesto will step on the base to end the inning. So the Tigers strain a couple of runners. We go to the top of the fourth. Santa Clara 1, Pacific 1. All right, welcome back to Bill Simone Field. I'm Kevin Roll, and there's been some changes here now for the Tigers defensively, as Taylor Covington does go back to being the defensive player like I originally thought at the beginning of the game. Megan Walters is now in the circle pitching for the Tigers. Gustafson, who was pitching, moves over to third, and that pushes Bourne out from third to left field. So Bourne's now in left field for the Tigers. Gustafson at third. Walters is now pitching. And Covington, who was playing left field, is now just the designated player. So she'll just be hitting for here on out, or at least until Coach Brian Colsey makes any more changes. And coming up now is Garner for Santa Clara, and she'll take strike 1 from Walters. And this one's ripped to first. Lawners jumped to try to catch it, hit off her glove, ricocheted to Zapatozny, who flipped it back to her, but not in time, as Garner is safe at first.
The catcher, number number 6, Kelsey Barnard.
They'll bring up the catcher, Barnard, with no outs, runner on first. And that one's fouled away. So no balls, one strike, no outs, runner on first for the Broncos. And the bunt from Barnard is right at Launer. She'll throw it over to Zapatosny, who's covering first for the out. So one out, and the runner moves over to second on the sacrifice bunt by Barnard. So one out here. Broncos have a runner on second, and Clara Biagini coming to the plate. She doubled last time up. That was against Gustafson. In the circle now for the Tigers is Walters. And her pitch is inside for ball one. And that was in there for strike one. So 1-1 now. The count to Biagini. And Biagini grounds this one to Habib. She'll watch the runner back as she throws over to first to get the out. So Habib did the right thing. She picked it up, made sure Garner went back to second, threw it over to first to get Biagini. So there's two outs now here on the Broncos. Runner at second. 1-1 ball game here in the top of the fourth at Bill Simoni Field in Stockton, California. And the pitch is in there for strike one. So 0-1 pitch coming up. And this one is ripped foul and out of play. Another one into the parking lot. So 0-2 is the count. Two outs. Runner on second. And this one's outside for ball one. Walter's trying to see if France would chase that one. And this one's in the dirt. Nice block by Sellers. So 2-2 now the count to Gianetta France. And this one's chopped back to the pitcher, but Walters can't come up with it. Ricocheted off her glove to Habib, and now the Broncos have runners at the corners and two outs.
Second baseman number 23, Gina Marie Bonilla.
So Garner's the runner at third. France is the runner at first. Gina Marie Bonilla is now the hitter for Santa Clara. And the pitch is low and inside, and Sellers isn't able to block it as it bounces over her head into the backstop. The run scores, and that was Garner. And as France tried to sneak one past the Tigers and get all the way to third, she gets thrown out by Sellers. So that will end the inning, but not before the run scores. So we go to the bottom of the fourth. Santa Clara 2, Pacific 1. welcome back. So we're on the lovely campus of the University of the Pacific here in Stockton, California. I'm Kevin Roll, and the scoring so far, the Tigers scored in the bottom of the first to go up 1-0, and then in the top of the third, the Broncos scored a run to even it, and they just scored again in the top of the fourth to go ahead 2-1, and that's where we're at here. In the bottom of the fourth, Tigers trail the Broncos 2-1. Bottom of their order coming up is Molly Bourne steps into the plate. And she hits this one into right field. Delfino's under it, and that'll be out number 1. Now the shortstop, Melanie Habib, will come to the plate. On deck is the designated player, Taylor Covington. And that one's low for ball 1. That one hits the corner high and away for strike 1. So 1-1 now is the count to Habib. One out, nobody on for the Tigers. And that one's low and away for ball 2. So 2-1 now to the shortstop. And that one's low for ball 3. So 3-1 now to Habib. One out, nobody on. Scores 2-1 Santa Clara over Pacific. We're in the bottom of the fourth. And Habib with the base hit up the middle. And that was a beauty. She got a right smack dab up the middle. So now she's on first, one out. And Taylor Covington now will come to the plate.
Number 20, Taylor Covington.
And Covington squares to bunt, pulls it back, and still gets a strike as it hits the inside corner. So the count's 0-1 to Covington. And she squares around again, and this time she misses it for strike 2. So 0-2 now to Covington. Runner on first, one out. On deck is the top of the order for the Tigers, Sarah Anderson, who has a single and a strikeout looking so far in this game. So no balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And swing and a miss by Covington for out number 2. So with 2 outs, Habib's on at first, and now Sarah Anderson will come to the plate. Anderson batting .371 on the year. Tigers hoping for a little 2-out magic. Yeah, that one's high and away for ball 1. We're here in the bottom of the fourth. Santa Clara Broncos 2, Pacific Tigers 1. And this one's chopped right back to the pitcher, Vieira. And no one's covering first base, and no one was covering third base either. But Modesto, the third baseman, realized that and was able to get back to third before Habib could get there. So we have runners on second and first out for the Tigers.
The right fielder, number 4,
And
Haley Moran
2 outs. And that'll bring up Haley Moore and Rowan. Now the Santa Clara coaches are talking it over as they want to talk to the umpires about something that went down here. We'll take this time to let you know that if you want to come to a Tigers game, grab the Scholar Share, the Scholar Share Tiger Pack is back for just $36. You can grab 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, and 4 sodas to any Pacific softball game. It's the best value in town. For more information about the Scholar Share Tiger Pack, head online to pacifictigers.com/Tiger Pack. Again, that's pacifictigers.com/Tiger Pack. And you're actually listening live here at pacifictigers.com. So we're here at Bill Simone Field on the campus of the University of the Pacific in Stockton, California, as Pacific Tigers are taking on the Santa Clara Broncos. Santa Clara University is based in Santa Clara, California. And now all the umpires are going to have a meeting. Now, I do know that one of the umpires had his arm straight out during the play, which means interference or obstruction. So, don't know if that had something to do with the coach coming out and talking to the umpires, but it looks like everything's A-OK, and we're back to having 2 outs, 2 runners on for the Tigers. They trail 2-1 to Santa Clara, and at the plate is Haley Moore and Rowan, the right fielder. And the Tigers hoping this 2-out rally continues here. They haven't scored since the bottom of the first. We're here in the bottom of the 4th now. And the pitch is in there for strike 1. So 0-1 now is the count. And that one's high and away. Ball 1 now. Haley Moore and Rowan, the local kid here from Stockton, California. Transfer from San Joaquin Delta College. And that one hits the outside corner for strike 2. So 1-2 now to Moore and Rowan. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second and first for the Tigers. They trail 2-1 here in the bottom of the 4th. And that one's outside for ball 2. So 2-2 now the count. Growing up going to Oakland A's games, this was always the count my mom loved. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. She just liked seeing all those 2s on the scoreboard, I bet. So this one is chopped foul. So Moore and Rowan will stay alive here. So the Tigers scored their lone run in the bottom of the 1st. Santa Clara scored 1 in the top of the 3rd. Another one here in the top of this inning, the 4th, to take the lead 2-1. And Moore and Rowan grounds this one to second. And she'll be thrown out at first to end the inning. So we go to the top of the 5th, 2-1 Santa Clara over Pacific. Welcome back. Sorry about that delay.
Modesto.
We're back here at Bill Simone Field as Gina Marie Bonilla just grounded out to the pitcher, Walters. So that'll now bring up Morgan Modesto. She has this one to third. Gustafson over to Launders, and they're now 2 outs here in the top of the fifth. And excuse me, Amanda Delfino now is at the plate. She just got hit by a pitch. So that was actually Bonilla that grounded out to the pitcher. Modesto grounded out to third.
Batting second, the designated player number 2, Annie Yates.
So either way, there's still 2 outs here for Santa Clara. Delfino is now on at first.
Your attention. Continuing for Santa Clara. Number 21, Kimberly Goulart.
And now Kimberly Goulart is going to be pitch hitting for the designated player, Ann Yates. So we're here in the top of the fifth. It's 2-1 Santa Clara, 2 outs, runner on first. And the first pitch to Goulart is in there for strike one. And that one's high and away for ball one. So 1-1 now. The count. And that one's high and away for ball two. So 2-1 now to the pitch hitter, Kimberly Goulart. Delfino's on at first for Santa Clara as they lead the Tigers 2-1 here in the top of the fifth. And Goulart now to Gustafson. She'll throw across the diamond to Launders to get the third and final out. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Santa Clara 2, Pacific 1. Complete a meal for your family or crew with homemade sides, including baked beans, potato salad, creamy coleslaw, vegetable sticks, rolls, and dipping sauces like ranch and blue cheese. For the nearest location or to order online, visit wingstop.com. We're here in the bottom of the fifth at Bill Simone Field. Leading off for the Tigers is Rachel Sellers, the catcher. She lined out in the first, got hit by a pitch in the third. Let's see what she can do here in the fifth. It's the Tigers trail 2-1 to Santa Clara. And the pitcher is high for ball one. The next pitch is outside, ball two, so 2-0 here to Sellers. one's high for ball 3, so quickly 3-0 now. Rachel leading off this inning, so nobody on, no outs. And that's ball 4, so 4 straight balls by Vieira. And that has Sellers coming to the plate, or Sellers going to first, and Sydney Lawners coming to the plate. Lawners reached on an error in the first, walked in the third. And that also means there's going to be a pitch runner coming in for Sellers, as Kristen Stein is going to come in. Kristen Stein from Carson City, Nevada, transfer from Cosumnes River College. And Liner showing bunt, pulls back and takes strike 1 from Vieira. No outs, runner on first. Tying run on first, actually, for the Tigers. And Lawners bunts right back to Vieira, who's going to throw it to second and get the lead runner. Stein out at second. They tried to turn 2, but they just weren't in time to get Lawners out at first. So that bunt, normally when you bunt it, you want to try to get it down the lines, and instead Lawners ended up bunting it right back to Vieira, who already had her feet set and was able to get Stein out easily at second for out number 1. So 1 out. Lawners is on at first now, reaching on the fielder's choice. And Zapatosny at the plate as she takes strike 1. And that one's low for ball 1. So 1-1 now. The count to the Tigers' second baseman. Bottom 5, 2-1 Santa Clara. And that one's outside for ball 2. So 2-1 now. And she hits this one to short. Padilla goes to Bonilla at second. Over to first, not in time to get Zapatosny, as she was able to get down the line quickly. So they get Lawners out at second, but weren't able to complete the 6-4-3 double play. So there's 2 outs. Runner on first for Cassidy Gustafson, who's now the third baseman. She started the game in the circle pitching for the Tigers. And she rips this one in, towards center, but a nice diving grab by the second baseman Bonilla from Santa Clara to end the inning. So we now go to the top of the 6th. Santa Clara Broncos 2, Pacific Tigers 1. The City of Stockton Municipal Utilities Department asks you to help with water quality and water conservation. Help us maintain clean rivers and a clean delta for everyone by reporting any sewage or bad-smelling water in the street or water running in gutters. Reporting possible problems helps everyone to maintain a clean water supply and healthy environment. Call the 24-hour Emergency Service Center at 209-937-8341. We are here in the top of the 6th. Santa Clara leads the Pacific Tigers 2-1. Re-entering the ball game is Rachel Sellers, the catcher for the Tigers. Kristen Stein came in to run for her. And the bottom of the fifth. Walters, who entered the game to pitch for the Tigers in the fourth inning, is still in the circle as she faces Cassandra Padilla, the shortstop for the Broncos. And the pitch is in there for strike one. And now this one's grounded to Zapatozzi, who can't come up with it cleanly at second. And Padilla is safe at first.
The batter, center fielder number 32, Justine Garner.
And that'll bring up Justine Garner, the center fielder for the Broncos. Yeah, that was high and away for ball one. Sellers thought about trying to backdoor Padilla at first, but didn't go after it. So there's no outs. One ball, no strikes. Runner at first for Santa Clara. And Gardner grounds this one to Habib. She'll throw over to Zapatozzi, but to her feet and through her legs into right field. Morin Rowan was there to back up, so everybody is now safe. As a couple of errors to start this inning have the Broncos with runners on second and first and no outs. And that'll bring up Kelsey Bernard, the catcher for Santa Clara. She's 1 for 1. She grounded out, and she also had a sacrifice. And probably another sacrifice situation here with no outs, runners on second and first. Broncos lead the Tigers 2-1. She squares around a bunt. She stabs at it, but misses for strike one. Again, top of the sixth. Santa Clara 2, Pacific 1. No outs. And she shows bunt again. Pulls it back in time for ball one. So 1-1 now to the catcher from Santa Clara. And this time she either didn't pull back in time or the umpire just said, hey, it was a strike no matter what. So strike two now to Bernard, which might take out the sacrifice possibility. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs. And the pitch is outside for ball two, 2-2 now. Broncos with runners on second and first, no outs, trying to add to their lead. And this one's hit into right. Coming in strong was Morin Rowan. She threw to first to try to get the runner out there, but heads up play by Padilla at second. The minute the throw went to first, she tagged up and went to third. So there's now runners on third and first for the Broncos and 1 out. And now Chiara Biagini, the left fielder, now at the plate. She had a double in the second inning, and then she grounded out in the fourth. Tigers would love to turn a double play here to get out of this inning and keep the Broncos lead to just 1. And this one is grounded too short. Habib couldn't quite come up with it. She was able to knock it down. Everybody is safe. So there's now bases loaded for the Broncos. So bases loaded for the Broncos for their first baseman, Gianetta France. Now, the one good thing about the bases being loaded here with 1 out is now there is a force anywhere.
First baseman number 14.
And in fact, the Tigers are bringing their infield in because their first look is going to be to try to get the lead runner out at home on anything hit in the infield. As that is ball one to France. Second baseman Bonilla on deck for the Broncos. And swing and a miss for strike one. Tigers outfielders are playing Bonilla or playing France straight up. And this one is high for ball two. So 2-1 is now the count to Giannetta France. And this one hits the inside corner for strike two. So 2-2 now to France. If the Tigers can't turn a double play here, Walters would love a strikeout. As France hits this one high and deep into right. Moore and Rowan going back to the fence, and it's a grand slam for France. Giannetta France with the grand slam to right field to give the Broncos a 6-1 lead here in the top of the sixth.
The batter, number 23, Gina Marie Bonilla.
And with one out, nobody on now, Gina Maria Bonilla, the second baseman for Santa Clara, is now at the plate. And she grounds this one to second. Zapatozzi comes up with it cleanly, throws to first to get her out. So that's out number two. So 2 outs, and Morgan Modesto, who hit the 2-run homer in the top of the eighth in game 2 yesterday to beat the Tigers. She had a solo blast to tie the game in the third, and then to stop her home run streak, she grounded out to third in the fifth. And this one's fouled over the Broncos dugout for strike one. Broncos lead it here in the top of the sixth, 6-1. This one's grounded to third, backhanded by Gustafson. Across the diamond quickly to Lawners to get Modesto out at first, but not before Giannetta France hits a grand slam for Santa Clara to put them up 6-1. We're going to the bottom of the sixth. The Tigers trail the Broncos by 5. Lincoln Center is Stockton's premier shopping and dining destination. Enjoy boutique shopping, our award-winning restaurants, and family-friendly atmosphere. Conveniently located at Pacific Avenue in Ben Holt, less than 15 minutes from the University of the Pacific. Visit LincolnCenterShops.com. That's LincolnCenterShops.com for a list of stores that offer a discount to all Pacific students. Lincoln Center, always in style. We're here in the bottom of the sixth. Santa Clara leads 6-1 over Pacific here after a grand slam in the top of the sixth. And the first pitch to Molly Bourne, and she rips a line drive out to the second baseman, Bonilla. So 1 out now. Shortstop Melody Habib will come to the plate. Tigers committed a few errors in the top of the sixth that led to the bases being loaded. And Gianetta France made them pay with her blast to right field. 1 ball, no strikes to Habib. And that's ball 2 to Habib. And that one's inside, tied for ball 3, 3-0. Vieira, who's pitching for Santa Clara right now, pitching a gem. She's only given up 1 run on 5 hits. She actually got clobbered for 7 runs in game 1 yesterday against the Tigers. That's ball 4 now to Habib. So with 1 out, the Tigers now have a runner on first. And Coach Colsey's going to talk to the home plate umpire. Looks like they're going to be bringing in a possible pitch hitter here.
Your attention, please. Pitch hitting for Pacific. Number 25, Taylor Brink.
And yeah, Taylor Brink is actually going to pitch hit, the senior from Stockton, California. Went to St. Mary's High School. She's going to pitch hit here for Taylor Covington. And that one is in there for strike 1. So Habib is on first. Taylor Brink is now the hitter. Sarah Anderson is on deck, 1 out. And that one's high for ball 1. So 1-1 now, the count to Brink. And that one's outside for ball 2. So 2-1 now. The count. We're here in the bottom of the 6th at Bill Simone Field. Santa Clara leads Pacific 6-1. And that one hits the inside corner for strike 2. So 2-2 now, the count to Brink. And Brink hits a high pitch. She hit the rise ball to the shortstop, Padilla, for out number 2. So with 2 outs, runner on first, I'll bring up the top of the Tigers order, and Sarah Anderson. Anderson 2 for 3 with 2 singles, and she struck out looking. Her single in the first actually proved to be the only run for the Tigers so far in this game, as she came around to score after leading off with a single in the first. And here she gets a ball for her first pitch. It's 1 ball, no strike, 2 outs, runner on first for the Tigers. So they trail the Broncos 6-1. And swung on and missed by Anderson. Evens the count 1-1. And this one's fouled off her fists. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to Anderson. 2 outs here in the Tigers' half of the 6th. Runner on first. They trail Santa Clara by 5, 6-1. Yeah, the pitch is outside. Designed to be that way to see if Anderson would chase. She thought about it, but she definitely was able to hold up. And a 2-2 pitch, and she grabs this one to Bonilla. Bonilla will throw over to first to get Anderson. As Habib was smart enough to stop to make Bonilla make a play and actually throw it rather than tag out the runner. But with that, we now go to the top of the 7th. Santa Clara Broncos 6, your Pacific Tigers 1. Welcome back to Bill Simone Field on the beautiful campus of the University of the Pacific here in Stockton, California. I'm Kevin Roll, and your Pacific Tigers trail the Santa Clara Broncos 6-1 here in the top of the 7th.
For the Broncos. Right fielder number
The Tigers scored in the bottom of the 1st. Santa Clara scored 1 in the top of the 3rd to tie it up. Another one in the top of the 4th to take the lead 2-1. Before Jeanette of France hit a grand slam on the top of the 6th to make the score 6-1, where it's at right now. And the first pitch to Delfino, and she grounds this one to 3rd, where Gustafson was able to get her out easily. So 1 away now in the Broncos' half of the 7th. Coming up in the bottom of the 7th for the Tigers is going to be their 2, 3, or 4 hitters, Moran, Rowan, Sellers, and Lawners, as they've got some ground to make up, trailing 6-1 here in the top of the 7th. Kimberly Gouillard, who came in to pitch hit for the designated player Annie Yates in the 5th inning, stays in to hit. She has 1 ball on her right now. And Gouillard chops this one to Zapatosny. She'll throw over to Lawners, and that is out number 2 here in the top of the 7th.
Number 22, Cassie Padilla.
And now Cassandra Padilla, the shortstop for Santa Clara, coming to the plate. Yeah, that one's in there for strike 1. And that's ball 1. 1-1 now to Padilla. And that one's in there for strike 2. So 1-2 now to Padilla here in the top of the 7th. Nobody on, 2 outs. And that one's low and inside for ball 2. So 2-2 now to Padilla with 2 outs, nobody on. Top 7, Santa Clara 6, Tigers 1. This one's grounded to short. Habib has a hard time dealing with it. And Padilla will be safe at first on the play.
Center fielder number 32, Justine Garner.
And that'll bring up Justine Garner, the center fielder for the Broncos. As the sun is setting, lights are on here at Bill Simone Field, and this one's blasted deep to right, and that is a 2-run homer for Justine Garner. And the Santa Clara Broncos add to their lead as they now lead 8-1 over the Pacific Tigers here in the top of the 7th. So that is the third home run of the game for the Broncos. They had a solo home run by Morgan Modesto in the third inning, a grand slam by Giannetti France in the top of the sixth, and now a two-run home run by Justine Garner here in the top of the seventh. So Santa Clara now leads 8-1 as Kelsey Bernard, the catcher, comes to the plate.
Catcher number 6, Kelsey Bernard.
2 outs, nobody on. And the pitch is high for ball 1. And that one is inside. Ball 2 to Bernard. On deck is Clara Biagini. Is that strike 1 now to Bernard? And as Walters tries to speed things up, the umpire slows her down. Give the hitter a chance to get in the box. And this one's chopped to Gustafson at third. She'll throw over to Lawners at first to end the inning, but not before the damage is done. Santa Clara adds 2 more to make it 8-1 as we go to the bottom of the 7th here in Stockton, California. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bill Simone Field here on the campus of the University of the Pacific. The Tigers trail Santa Clara here in the bottom of the 7th, 8-1. Caitlin Reynolds is going to be coming into the game to pitch hit for Haley Moore and Rowan.
Number 16, Caitlin Reynolds.
Caitlin Reynolds, a freshman from the state of Washington. She went to WF West High School. So the Broncos added to their lead in the top of the 6th off of a 2-run homer by Justine Garner. So the Tigers find themselves trailing by 7 here, 8-1 in the bottom of the 7th. And the first pitch to Reynolds is in there for strike 1. Michaela Vieira, the sophomore pitcher for Santa Clara, she's from Huntington Beach, California. She lost to the Tigers 7-3 in game 1 yesterday of the doubleheader. Today she's trying to close out the victory, leading 8-1 here in the third and final game of the 3-game series between these two schools as they start off the West Coast Conference action, as that is ball 2 now to Caitlin Reynolds. And this one is hit towards third. Foul. Modesto tried to go after it. Wasn't able to hang on, but it was in foul territory. So Reynolds is still alive here. Catcher Rachel Sellers is on deck for the Tigers. And this one's lined right to Modesto at third. And that's out number one. And the Tigers are now down to their last 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. And actually, Rachel Sellers will not be batting today as Coach Brian Colsey is trying to get some players in to hit here in the bottom of the 7th, trailing 8-1. And coming in to pitch hit is going to be Jessica Pasco, a junior from San Pedro, California, with the Rolling Hills Prep. And the first pitch to Pasco is a ball. On deck is Sydney Lawners. And that one is in there for strike one. 1-1 now. And this one is chopped to short. And the throw across the diamond is in time. Padilla to France to get Pasco out at first. And the Tigers are now down to their last out. As we're here in the bottom of the 7th, it's Santa Clara 8, Pacific 1 here at Bill Simone Field. You're listening live on PacificTigers.com. And the pitch is high and away for ball one. Lawners reached on an air in the first, walked in the third, reached on a fielder's choice of the 5th. Tigers haven't scored since the bottom of the 1st. That one's low and in, ball 2. And that one's high and inside for ball 3. 3-0 now to Lawners. And that was in there for strike 1. Now it hits the outside corner, strike 2. So full count now to Lawners. The Tigers are down to their last out and their last strike. And the pitch, this one's ripped right past the third baseman at shortstop. And Lawners has herself a 2-out single to keep this inning and this game alive for the Tigers, who trail the Broncos by 7, 8-1 here in the bottom of the 7th. And now Nicole Zapatosny is coming to the plate. Cole walked in the first, flew out to left in the third, which was right at the fence, and then reached out a fielder's choice in the 5th. First pitch to her is outside for ball 1. Lawners the runner on first. And this one is hit right back to the pitcher. Vieira kind of getting out of the way as the ball goes straight up the middle into center. So the Tigers now have back-to-back singles here. And a little something going with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th as they trail by 7. And that'll bring out the coach from Santa Clara to talk to his sophomore pitcher, the rest of the infield for the Broncos. Again, the Tigers scored first as they scored 1 in the bottom of the 1st. Santa Clara came back to tie to the top of the third by a solo home run by Modesto. Took the lead in the fourth, 2-1. And then in the top of the sixth, added to their lead on a grand slam by Gianetta France. And then in the top of the seventh, Justine Garner added two more with a blast of her own. And that's where we stand now. Here in the bottom of the seventh, it's Santa Clara 8, Pacific 1. 2 outs. Runners on second and first for the Tigers. And Cassidy Gustafson at the plate. And the pitch is high and away for ball one. Gustafson flew out to right, grounded out to third, lined out to second. And that one's in there for strike one. So 1-1 now the count. And that's in there for strike two. So 1-2 now to Gustafson. And again, the Tigers are down to their last out and their last strike. And she chops this one to short, where Padilla will go to the easy base at second to Bonilla to end this ball game. So Santa Clara comes away with the victory tonight, 8-1 over the Pacific Tigers. I'll be right back to wrap things up from Bill Simone Field.
Against Fresno State.
All right, welcome back to Bill Simone Field here at the University of the Pacific here in Stockton, California. I'm Kevin Rule, and the Pacific Tigers were defeated this evening 8-1 by the Santa Clara Broncos. Pacific now falls to 18-16 overall, 1-2 in West Coast Conference play. Santa Clara improves to 7-30 on the year and 2-1 in West Coast Conference play, as this was the West Coast Conference opening series for both these schools. The unfortunate aspect was a lot of people came tonight looking to see history, as Coach Brian Colsey is chasing his 700th career victory. He's stuck at 699 after winning Game 1 of the doubleheader yesterday against Santa Clara. And then Santa Clara won Game 2, keeping him at 699, and then they won again tonight. So the Tigers will hope to give him his 700th victory as they travel to Moraga to take on the Gales of St. Mary's on April 16th and 17th. The next time you can catch the Tigers back here at home is in a non-conference match against Fresno State on April 20th at 6 p.m. So the final tally tonight, Santa Clara 8 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. Pacific Tigers 1 run, 7 hits, 3 errors. That's it from Bill Simone Field, folks. Please join us next time here at PacificTigers.com. Again, I'm Kevin Rule, and I hope you guys have a wonderful evening.